Hello guys, my name is Kenton and previously I released a video where I introduced the book of Proverbs, and today I'd like to continue that series. Again, the book of Proverbs is a collection of wise sayings from ancient Israeli culture collected by their wisest king, King Solomon, the son of King David. So last time we read from chapter 1 verses 1 through 7, and we talked about the benefits of wisdom and staying in the Word of God daily. Today we're still in chapter 1, but we're going to be covering verses 8 through 19, where we're going to be talking about environment, and that is the people whom you surround yourself with. Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Indeed, they are a graceful wreath to your head, and ornaments about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say to you, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood. Let us ambush the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive like Sheol, even whole as those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious wealth for us. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Throw in your lot with us, and we shall all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your feet far from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they hasten to shed blood. Indeed, it is useless to spread the net in the eyes of any bird, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They ambush their own lives. So are all the ways of anyone who gains by violence. It takes away the life of its possessor. Now I got 3 main points out of this, and the first one is to respect our parents' teachings. Here in verse 8 it says, Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake the teachings of your mother. Sometimes culture seems to teach us that we want to detach ourselves from our parents, but the Bible is very clear that our parents are given to us to lead us in wise ways. No, they're not perfect, no one is, and some parents are way worse than others, but still there is some life experience that they've had. They've lived this life longer than we have, and therefore have experienced more angles of life than we have. Sometimes it may seem like they're not caught up with the times. There have been so many times that my mom have had to either have me or one of my siblings teach her how to use a new phone. Or I remember playing video games with my brother and my dad, with my brother and I laughing about my dad trying to figure out the mechanics. They're not caught up with the latest technology, but that doesn't mean that their wisdom is invalid. Society changes, but wisdom really is timeless. Take this book, for example. It is about 3,000 years old, and yet it is still applicable today. In that 3,000 years, we've had the rise of the first empires, the fall of those first empires, all of Europe united under Catholicism, the Reformation that tore down that Catholicism, the Industrial Revolution, the fall of monarchy into democracy, and now the age of technology, which is moving extremely fast as well. Despite all those societal changes, which are huge impacts to society, the wisdom in this book still remains. So why would the wisdom of our parents, which is a very small society shift away, be invalid just because of the changes we've experienced? True, some parents are just bad, and that's why there are child services that are there to take children away from negative parents. Parents that are giving drugs to their children or teaching their children to steal or things like that. Abusive parents. So those situations can be complex and difficult to navigate. I think I would broaden this out, though, to say not just the advice you listen to from your parents, but also other people in your life. But that leads us into point number 2, which is beware of negative friends. What kind of friends do you surround yourself with, and who are the bad influences? Notice what it says here in verse 10. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. And then it goes off on this list of negative influences that they have in a person's life. I know the language of this seems a little strong, like most of our friends probably aren't encouraging us to do violence against people, but it's very common for people to encourage a different kind of destruction against others. Do your friends encourage you to make fun of the handicapped person, or are they encouraging you to talk down upon people that they view as inferior to themselves? This is not violence, but it's still destroying an innocent person. What are the things that your friends are encouraging you to do? Are they trying to peer pressure you into doing something that you know is wrong, or something that is damaging? Are they trying to lead you into a path of addiction that will ruin your life? The ability to spot these kinds of influences in your circle of friends can be very beneficial in warning you to get away from those influences. That may require cutting ties to some close friends. As a counter to those friends, it can be good to seek out some better friends who will encourage you, who will keep you accountable, who will inspire you to be the best you can, rather than trying to hold you back. And point number 3 is the warning of consequences. Notice what it says here in verses 18 and 19. But they lie in wait for their own blood, they ambush their own lives. So are all the ways of anyone who gains by violence. It takes away the life of its possessor. Just because something may seem beneficial in the moment does not mean it won't have consequences long term. There are often repercussions to the things that we do. And this section implies that the things we do against innocent people will come back around against us. Evil always repays. So, in summary, there are some universal truths, and it is important for us to surround ourselves with the right people who will pour into us and lead us in the right ways. As we grow older and older, life may throw us some harder decisions, and sometimes it can be very unclear what the right thing to do is. In those situations, two good advices are to find your counsel from the Word of God. Sometimes life might need a little more clarity than the things that the Bible talks about, so it can be helpful to surround yourself with wise people who know how to encourage you in that way. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. God bless.